What's going on, guys? In today's video I will be sharing with you guys my trading plans for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. We are up for a massive week where we are also going to see huge earnings coming out on the US stock market, and obviously the elections are coming closer and closer as well. I think that Bitcoin might be ready for new all-time highs, maybe already this week, and I have several trading plans that are ready to get executed on both Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's not waste any more time and let's dive straight into the charts. Okay guys, as I've said, we are up for a big week, and as you can see, there's not many reasons to be very bearish over here on the higher time frame for Bitcoin. We are close to a new all-time high. The only thing that I was speaking about a few weeks ago is that the local trend over here was pointing towards the downside. Obviously, as I've said many times, the higher time frame trend is still towards the upside until we start opening and closing candles beneath the low over here around $38,500. Now we can also see that also the local trend on the daily has been shifting back towards the upside, where we are now also forming higher highs and higher lows again. When we look at a 4-hourly time frame, we can see that we saw a beautiful reversal, or you can also say continuation play right over here for Bitcoin, where we broke through this high over here. By breaking through that high, we were engineering plenty of liquidity beneath this low. We swept into that liquidity pool, where we also took out the low right over here for Bitcoin as well. And while we took out all of that liquidity, the price of Bitcoin was tagging into this strong demand area right over here. Afterwards, we saw an impulse towards the upside, and we've seen a beautiful break of structure right over here for the price of Bitcoin. Now afterwards, we can see that Bitcoin simply started consolidating and is currently trading inside of a range over here. Now by trading inside of this range, we know what to do. There's two ways of potentially positioning ourselves. There's the way of trading a potential range breakout right over here, where I have a potential trading idea ready for, or there's the way of waiting for a deviation beneath the range low and then anticipating higher targets for the price of Bitcoin. Now let's move over to the first trading idea, the range breakout play. Usually I would say that I will be very cautious with trading potential breakouts, but over here we see a beautiful potential structure being developed on the price of Bitcoin. As I've said, we have the range high area over here, but more importantly, look at the structure that the price of Bitcoin was first forming over here, and then we have a look at the structure that is being formed right over here for the price of Bitcoin. What we were seeing is that the price was making new highs, but by making these new highs, we were not breaking any significant highs, and therefore we were looking at fake break of structures. Now what are these fake break of structures doing, guys? They are engineering liquidity beneath the low over here and also beneath the low over here. Why is the liquidity being engineered right there? Because of those fake break of structures? Because of the fact that retail traders don't identify these kind of break of structures as fake ones, but as valid ones. So what are they doing? Because of those fake break of structures, they start opening up breakout long positions for the price of Bitcoin over here, or they start longing the pullback right over here. Get into the mind of the retail trader. Where are those people, aka the majority of the market? Where are they going to place their stop loss? Beneath the low over here or beneath the low over here. And therefore these fake break of structures over here are engineering liquidity beneath the lows. Then we can see the price indeed, as always, is attracted to that liquidity pool. Now this is my favorite continuation play. If we then take out that liquidity pool by 2 break of structures in a row, and then we start trading back above that high over here again, we can start targeting a potential breakout. Because we are mitigating that liquidity pool over here, we are also creating a new low. By creating a new low, the high that brought us to that low, aka this high over here, becomes a very significant high to break. And therefore it is very important to be able to witness a potential breakout above this high that became significant because it brought us to a new low, and then play the higher low over here, targeting a breakout towards new all-time highs for Bitcoin. So my first plan for Bitcoin is to wait for price to open and close candles on the 4-hourly time frame above the high over here around $69,500. If it is indeed going to open and close candles above that high, I'm going to play a potential higher low. Now to get my invalidation, I want to await today's daily candle close. If we get a strong daily candle close above this high, then my invalidation for my bullish thesis will be below today's low, aka Monday low over here. So my preferred bullish scenario is to get a push above this high today, open and close candles above this high, close a daily candle above that high, and then tomorrow take out Monday's high. By taking out Monday's high, we know that the statistics will point towards more upside, and that the statistics will point towards a high probability for the current weekly low, aka the Monday low, to hold. In that case, if we take out Monday high tomorrow on Tuesday and we close today's daily candle above this high over here, I'm looking to play the higher low with my invalidation beneath Monday's low. And then indeed, guys, as I've said, I'm going to target brand new all-time highs for the price of Bitcoin. And by targeting those new all-time highs, we can see that we offer ourselves a beautiful RR on a trading idea like this of about 2.5 RR. Now, as I've said, the second way that I'm willing to execute a potential long on Bitcoin is to wait for a deviation beneath the range low right over here. Why do I want to wait for a deviation potentially beneath the range low? Because look at all of the liquidity that we have been building up beneath that range low. We have a significant low over here. We have another low over here. And we can also see, guys, that we have a low over here. Now, beneath these lows, there's plenty of liquidity resting. How so? Look at the structure that we were forming after putting in those lows. We were putting in this low, then getting a break over here. People use that low because of this break after that low has been formed as their invalidation for their longs. Look how we form this low, and then we get a break above these highs over here. Once again, people will use this low because of that break for their invalidation for their long position. Look at how we form this low over here. Once again, after we form this low over here, we get a break towards the upside and we break above this high over here. Once again, many people using this low as their invalidation for the bullish thesis. Now, what is more interesting to me is that if we move our eyes to the daily time frame, is that beneath these lows is also where we have this bullish fair value gap on the daily time frame as well. Now, we do not only have a bullish fair value gap right over here on the daily time frame, but if I move back to the 4-hourly time frame, I can see that besides the fact that we have the bullish daily fair value gap right there on the price of Bitcoin, we also have a bullish breaker over here. Previous supply that failed to hold as resistance, price broke out above that supply, leaving behind a daily imbalance while breaking out above it, and that has now been turning into a high time frame POI for a potential reversal for Bitcoin towards brand new all-time highs. So if we are going to see a test of the daily breaker over here inside of the bullish daily fair value gap, I'm looking for longs with my invalidation over here, targeting new all-time highs and beyond for the price of Bitcoin, also offering us an RR of approximately 2, aka 2.5. If we are going to see a sweep of the low over here, I'll be looking to add some margin to that long position on Bitcoin over here with the same invalidation beneath that low and also the same target over here around $80,000, increasing the RR of that second position to about 5. Now let's move over to my trading ideas as well, obviously as always for Ethereum. Now for Ethereum, I'm having two different long scenarios in mind as well on the lower time frame. But first, as always, we gotta understand the higher time frame context. And I'm still looking at this potential massive PO3 for Ethereum to play out over the upcoming weeks and months. And if this PO3 is going to play out, we can target easily new all-time highs for Ethereum. So that basically means that if we indeed are going to enter the distribution phase towards new all-time highs, but we can maybe position ourselves right now into a long position, then we can target a massive RR long for Ethereum targeting new all-time highs. So we gotta make sure that we position ourselves into a high probability swing long position right over here for the price of Ethereum. And to do so, I have two potential scenarios in mind. First off, I really like the way that we were moving in a very choppy range over here for Ethereum, and then price took out the high of the choppy range as always, and after taking out the high of the choppy range, price starts moving towards a range low of the choppy range, where there was massive liquidity resting because of this low probability break of structure towards the upside. So we are mitigating a high time frame liquidity pool over here. Now, while we are mitigating that liquidity pool, there's some interesting structure being developed on the price of Ethereum. What we can see is that price broke through a high over here. It swing failed that high. By swing failing that high, What is price basically doing? It is indeed engineering liquidity over here beneath this low, and obviously we had liquidity resting beneath this low over here as well. What did price do? As always, it was once again attracted to that liquidity pool. So price starts pushing towards the downside and it mitigates that liquidity pool. By mitigating the liquidity pool over here, the high that brought us to that liquidity pool, aka the high over here, becomes a significant high to break. So my first scenario for Ethereum is to get a break above this high, same as my first scenario for Bitcoin, then play the higher low, targeting new all-time highs. I know it's an ambitious target, but it aligns with the higher time frame context. I want to see this play out on a 4-hourly time frame. So what I want to see is that I want to see a candle open over here and a candle close above the significant high. A wick above that high isn't enough. A candle close above that high isn't enough. I want to see a candle open and a candle close above that high in order to be able to play the higher low over here, targeting new all-time highs for Ethereum. So eventually, if we do get it open and close above that high, and we can play the higher low over here, we can find ourselves an invalidation over here. And as I've said, guys, we can target brand new all-time highs. But let's first target a new yearly high for Ethereum right over here. And look at the massive RR that we are seeing right now on the chart, 12.44. And that's the reason why when everyone is fearful, you want to look for longs and buys, and when everyone is greedy, you want to look for shorts and sells. This is long scenario number 1 for Ethereum. Now the second scenario is also similar as one of my preferred scenarios for Bitcoin. Look at the structure that we are developing right over here on the price of Ethereum. We are getting several breaks towards the upside. And once again, these breaks towards the upside, they are breaking through insignificant highs and therefore engineering liquidity over here and also engineering liquidity over here. Now by engineering that liquidity, we can potentially start targeting that liquidity pool. Obviously, I'm not looking for shorts as the higher time frame context is still bullish. But if we indeed go and take out these lows over here, what will happen in that case is that the high that will bring us to those lows, aka the highs over here, becomes significant to break. We also have a massive wick over here on a 1-hourly time frame that should probably get filled for 50%. If you don't know why these wicks should get filled for 50%, I have a wick filling strategy video on my YouTube channel. Make sure to check it out. Now, if we are going to take out those lows, maybe tech the 50% wick fill level, the high over here, as I've said, will become significant to break. If we take out those lows and that one is being followed by an expansion towards the upside over here, and we break out above these highs that in that case have brought us to those lows, we can play the higher low with once again our invalidation in this case not beneath the low over here but beneath the low over here, and then we can target new all-time highs. Now this is my second scenario, maybe even a higher probability scenario for the price of Ethereum over the upcoming week. And once again, if we in that case target new all-time highs for Ethereum, in this case the RR increases towards 16.66, and we can see that both long scenarios on Ethereum offer a high probability, but more importantly, they also offer a high RR.